All right, you guys. So let this be my official announcement here that Cosmos Health is actually now in partnership with ArcaBulls, right? So I am going to be their statistical and data analyst moving forward. Okay, you guys, and it is of course contractual, and it is in exchange for services for funding, of course, right? So with that said, I just want you to know that this is in fact something that has happened, and I will continue covering COSM from here on. Okay, you guys. So anyway, I would like to actually express to you some dangers in the market, in the current situation right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over the charts now, which, by the way, if you hear my little boy in the background, he's just hanging out with me right now, right? As mom has not come home just yet. And we're going to be putting down the analysis here on the laptop from the kitchen. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this started now. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. This is ARCa coming at you with COSM, technicals, raw price action, and statistical thread of analysis on this happy Monday. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ArcaBulls. With that said, let's dive right into the charts. Okay, you guys, so what I wanted to show you here is actually the micro E-mini Russell 2000 index futures contracts. And this is the ticker symbol that you're seeing up here, right? The M2K1 exclamation on the daily chart. And what you see down here is actually COSM on the daily chart. So I want to bring this up to you because sometimes when we're experiencing some market pressures towards the downside, which by the way, the entire market today actually experienced a downside in the later part of the session, the trading session today in equities, right? So we faced a very clear downside over the last few days, of which COSM has been facing that downside too, right? So you can see that this is the COSM is going to be listed, or is listed under the under the Russell index, right? So I tend to look at CME, right, which is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. So this is something that I tend to keep into deeper consideration than actually spot price action, right? So the Russell 2000 regular index, in this case, remember, it's micro, right? So yeah, I just wanted to kind of bring this up to you to show you the correlation between price action in the index, or the futures index, versus the spot price action here of ticker symbol COSM. And just so you're entirely in the know, right? So it is essentially dependent on a strong index as well, just like a lot of tickers are, right? So we're talking about 2,000 tickers that are built under the Russell 2000, right? So let's go ahead and keep that into consideration when we're looking at current price action, right, you guys? So let's now go ahead and move on to the next ticker, and this is actually going to be the master layout where I actually look at things, right? So very clean rejection from the top side of this broadening descending wedge, which is actually the broadening descending wedge fractal that we're following from the previous iteration, right? So I was very stunned to see the drop here, right? But now, seeing that there are macroeconomic data releases that are at play, I believe I think it was PPI, or the producer price index should come out maybe on Wednesday. I think it was. I think we have also the labor statistics coming out. So usually these types of things present some type of fear in the broader market spectrum, especially since we're seeing COSM now listed into the big boy indices, right? So now it is entirely dependent on macroeconomic conditions before making its upside, right? Despite good news catalysts and despite all that stuff. So now we're dependent on CPI data releases, PPI, Jerome Powell himself, right? The FOMC and all that good stuff. So remember now that we do have those things at play. Okay, you guys. So if you do kind of look at the TQQQ and also the QQQs in general, right? The SPY and the NDX, SPX, all of those actually had some downside pressure towards the end of the session today, right, you guys? So let's go ahead and move on to the next chart. And this is actually going to be the RSI. We're going to be able to determine to see what can happen for the immediate short term to the medium term short-term time frame. Okay, so 30-minute immediate short-term is suggesting a continuation to the downside here. We also have the SMA 14 suggesting a continuation of that downside as well. So obviously here the buy daily time frame also has that downside. Please notice here that as soon as we're starting to jump in that 4-hour time frame and then into the 6-hour or into the 8 hours, it looks like we could be at a potential support, right? So please notice here on the 8-hour time frame that we have the 14-day simple moving average located right beneath us, right? So now if we take into consideration the 12-hour time frame, this could be indicative of just ever so slightly failing the SMA 14 before actually gaining an upside, right? So we're going to see if we can actually find a support level based on this 8-hour RSI, right? Finding that support at the SMA 14. So if I were to put in, an immediate type of guess here in a discretionary way, because there's no way I have back tested that, right? So I would start looking at, first of all, the moving averages, right? So let's pull up something here and see if we have anything in the immediate short-term time frame, the medium time frames. Let's just see what kind of moving averages we have below us or above us, right? Because this, honestly, whatever happened today, that capitulation ends up flashing the momentum indicators, and then it becomes a little difficult to rely on moving averages because they're all literally above us because we're making such a powerful move to the upside until what happened recently. Right. So if we don't have anything like that, then we can take into consideration an inverse geometric, right? So we'll go ahead and take it from the previous 4-hour candle, not this one here. We want to go ahead and get it from the capitulation candle, which is this one here. And honestly, this is a huge 4-hour bearish engulfing candle formation that is definitely indicative for a potential continuation to the downside. So this actually lands very perfectly with what I'm thinking of. 309 could be the bottom side here, and it's actually very confluent here with these targets. As you can see here, this is the opening valuation here on the O. You can see that that's 309, right? You can see a closing here. That would be the inverse, the closing valuation. You can see that's 309 as well. This is a close of 309 as well, and this right here is an opening of 309 on the O, right? So, and then this here is is a closing of 309. So you can see the relevance of 309. It's funny how the 4-spot 618 is indicating that. So that honestly could be the 8-hour downside that we could be looking for, right? So if we were to put a range into this so that we're not so stuck with one target, let's go ahead and keep in mind the bottom side of this range here, right? All these, the low of this wick here, the candle closures of these, or the opening candles of these, right? And wick low here, all that stuff. So we'll keep into consideration 308 to 309 potential bounce, and then we can actually continue onwards and upwards, right? But of course, it's conditional. And if you are aware of this, I am getting a lot of requests to cover COSM during my live streams. So I'm actually live streaming now daily, and usually from around 6:30 to around 7:30 a.m. I start streaming to around 10:30, 11 a.m. Okay, you guys. So please make sure to make your way towards that. Make sure to hit that bell icon so that you do know whenever I do upload a video, whenever I am streaming live. And I'm often covering COSM tickers like CLNV, GTII. I get some requests for AMC. We go over the broader markets, right? Like the indices. We go over the blue chips as well. Anything under the sun, you guys will go ahead and take a look at it, right? So I must remind you that I am not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. I need you to do your own due diligence, and everything will be cool, you guys. But with that said, I wish you all a very, very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.